When we're talking about building up confidence in terms of speaking up in a meeting, it really comes from two angles. Now, the first one is thinking about the act of speaking up as a skill. And it's like with anything, the only way that you're going to get confident at a particular skill is by practicing. So if you are really, really nervous before speaking up, take baby steps. So instead of just coming out with an opinion, you can always frame it in the form of a question. So instead of saying, let's do X, you can always say, what if we did X? What would be the impact of that? And then that way people can give feedback, can give their opinion. And then all you have to do is accept that opinion with grace. And you simply say, thank you very much for clarifying. That's exactly the information that I was looking for. And all that's doing is it's helping you to get really comfortable with the art of speaking up in a meeting. And then eventually, as your confidence grows, you can then just be much more direct in terms of your opinion, and you can start to challenge other people in terms of their opinion. So start with whatever is most comfortable to you. The second part of building confidence is a little bit more complicated because it's so subjective and it's so personal, but it boils down to one thing. It's simply making a conscious decision that in that meeting you are enough, that you are worthy of your place in that meeting, that you are bringing a whole bunch of skills, knowledge, experience, and achievements to that table, which could add value to that conversation. And it is literally that conscious decision every single time before you're stepping into that meeting of what you're going to choose to believe about yourself and what you're going to choose to believe about the people that are in that room. If you go in there believing that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy of being in that room, and you believe that everyone in that room is out to get you in some way, then absolutely your confidence is going to be shaken. But if you can go in there and just trusting yourself, trusting that you have value in that meeting, trusting that you're in that meeting for a reason. You were invited to that meeting for a reason because there is something that you have that is valuable to that meeting. I remember from a personal experience that I was invited into a meeting where I was literally surrounded by CEOs and head of sales. Both of those things, I've never been a multinational CEO and I've never been a head of sales. I was the only coach in the room. So they were there talking about sales funnels and customer strategies and all of these things. And I genuinely could not add a huge amount of value in that area. But the moment that they started talking about people, that's when I could really contribute. So be comfortable with the fact that you're not going to know it all, but you are there for a reason, and really identify what are your strengths, what is the value that you're bringing to the table, and focus your contribution in those areas. I would also strongly recommend that you use those meetings as an opportunity to learn about the things that you don't know about, so that for future meetings you feel much more confident contributing in those areas that don't fall under your area of expertise. But the internal confidence really does come from within. It's about self-perception. And the more you can fully appreciate who you are, what you've achieved, what you've done, and your worthiness of being in that room, your confidence will come up. I hope you found that useful. If you've got any tips to help anybody else who's lacking confidence in this specific skill, please leave them in the comment section below.